stop for a moment and listen, because what I am about to tell you is not written in any book you've read, nor spoken in any church you've attended. There is a way to call money in such a way that it knows your name and only your name, not as a vague wish, not as a desperate plea, but as a spiritual claim so precise that the unseen must deliver it. Most people throw their desires into the air like loose papers in the wind, wondering why nothing ever lands in their hands. But there exists a divine secret, a way to mark your money in the invisible realm so that no one else can claim it. Once you understand this law, wealth will stop passing you by, because in the language of spirit, it will already belong to you. You have called for money before, you have prayed for it, worked for it, chased it, and yet, much of the time it has slipped through your fingers like water through a net. Why? Because you never marked it. You see, in the unseen, there is no confusion, unless you create it. Spirit does not deal in half-formed wishes, in passing thoughts, in I hope, and maybe someday. The law responds to a claim, a deliberate, unmistakable command that marks what you desire as belonging to you, and until you do this, your request floats in the invisible like an unaddressed letter. Money is not wandering the earth aimlessly. Every dollar already has an assignment. If you do not assign it to yourself, someone else will. The law is exact. It delivers to the clearest claimant. Just as a package at the post office will never reach you unless your name and address are written on it, the wealth you want will never arrive until you write your spiritual tag on it in the unseen. And here is where most fail. They think desire is enough, but desire without specificity is noise in the ether. I have seen many souls plead for more money, and when it came, it was only in small drips, a forgotten coin in a couch cushion, a few extra dollars on a paycheck. They had called, yes, but without a tag. Spirit answered their vagueness with vague results. You must begin to understand. The unseen is precise. The invisible laws of supply are as orderly as mathematics. Just as 2 + 2 will never equal 3, an untagged desire will never find its way to you. The law of spiritual tagging is the act of speaking your claim so clearly, so deliberately, that it is as if you have engraved your name upon the very energy of the money you seek. Let me paint the picture for you. Imagine two farmers standing before a vast, fertile field. Both toss seeds into the soil. One farmer knows exactly where each seed is planted. He marks the rows, waters them, tends to them. The other farmer simply scatters seeds without care or record, forgetting where they fell. Now tell me, whose harvest will be gathered? The law of the soil is the same for both, but only one knew where to look, because he marked what was his. Money follows this same principle. The tag is your mental and spiritual signature. It is the command that says, "This is mine, prepared for me by divine right, and no one else can claim it." Without this, your money wanders. It might even come close to you, but if the vibration of your claim is not strong enough, it will be intercepted by someone whose tag is stronger. The unseen is not sentimental. It responds to authority. When you tag your money, you must see it. You must know its purpose. You must call it by name. Do not simply say, "I need money." Instead say, "The $10,000 prepared for me by divine order is now marked with my name. It knows where I am, and it is finding me now." This is not fantasy. It is alignment. The moment you speak it, you have placed your signature in the unseen, and the law begins moving it toward you. But understand this, your tag is not just words. Words are the brush, but belief is the ink. You cannot mark your money if you are secretly convinced it is too much, too far, or too late. The universe will only deliver what you truly claim, not what you timidly wish for. Many people speak powerful words, but mix them with the ink of doubt, and so the mark fades before the money arrives. This is why your tag must be renewed daily in your mind, until the manifestation stands before you, not with desperation, for desperation is the language of loss, but with certainty. A tagged package at the post office is not worried about whether it will arrive. It already bears the name, the address, the stamp. It is inevitable. And if, as you listen now, you feel your mind wandering or your faith dulling, take this moment as a refresher. Pull your focus back and remind yourself, if I do not tag it, I cannot claim it. Every coin, every bill, every opportunity I desire must be marked in the unseen, or it will remain unassigned. Let this truth stir you awake again. You may say, but what if someone else is also calling for the same money? Then know this, your tag is unique. Just as two people may share a name, but not the same fingerprint, the spiritual signature you place on your money cannot be duplicated. What is marked for you cannot be taken from you. The law will not confuse one claim with another. You are not competing in the physical marketplace for scraps. You are making a direct claim in the spiritual marketplace, where there is no shortage. There is enough for all, but only the tagged is delivered. Spirit is not moved by noise or numbers, only by the authority of a clear, unwavering claim. From this day forward, stop scattering your requests loosely into the ether. Tag them, speak them, see them, hold them in your mind until they have taken on the form of reality so clearly that the physical must obey the invisible. The law is impartial. It will deliver whatever is tagged. And here is the mystery you must remember. Once tagged, money will begin to move toward you in ways you cannot predict. Opportunities will rise, people will appear, paths will open. Do not doubt because you cannot see the route. The route is not your job. Your only work is to mark your claim and keep it marked until delivery. There is a moment, a divine split second, when the mind is most open to spiritual imprinting. Most people rush through their days unaware of it, never realizing they have missed their richest opportunity to mark their money in the unseen. The law of spiritual tagging does not require long hours of chanting or complex rituals. It requires timing, precision, and faith that moves without hesitation. The exact moment to tag your money is when the seed of desire first rises in your mind, before doubt has time to wrap itself around it, before reason begins its weary questioning, before you begin measuring your worthiness against the sum you seek. That first spark of desire is pure. It is the voice of spirit whispering, "This is already yours." And if you are quick, you can seal that moment with your tag, before the world's noise drowns it out. You see, desire is not something you manufacture. It is a telegram from the infinite. It arrives carrying the stamp of possibility and the mark of divine intention. But it is fragile in its first breath. Like a candle just lit, it can be snuffed out with the faintest breeze of fear. That is why, the very instant the idea comes, I will have this sum, I will enjoy this opportunity, I will live in this provision, you must act. You must put your spiritual signature on it immediately. Let me tell you something. The enemy of manifestation is not lack of work, it is delay. Delay is the thief of the spiritual marketplace. The moment you hesitate, that untagged claim drifts into the field of others who are faster to claim, not because they are more deserving, but because they obeyed the law without hesitation. The unseen does not deal in pity, it deals in certainty. I once observed a woman who understood this law instinctively. She was not wealthy in the worldly sense, yet every time she saw something she desired, a sum of money, a gift, a property, she would stop, close her eyes for a brief moment, and whisper, "I mark it mine by divine right, and nothing can keep it from me." She did this instantly, before her mind could talk her out of it, and time after time, those very things found their way to her, often in unexpected ways. She had mastered the timing. This is where you must train yourself. The world has taught you to think about it, to be realistic, to weigh your options. But in the unseen, the law works opposite to the way the world trains you. Spirit moves on boldness, not on cautious debate. The moment you receive the impulse, you must act, not in the physical first, but in the spiritual. Speak it, see it, seal it. That is your tag. Now let us speak plainly. If you tag your money when your spirit is flat, when you are filled with worry, or when your mind is scattered, the mark will be faint. Just as ink needs paper that will absorb it, your words need a mind that is receptive. This is why another perfect moment to tag your money is upon waking, before the day's dust has settled on your consciousness. The mind is open then, not yet cluttered with yesterday's disappointments or today's demands. I often tell my students, your first conversation each morning should not be with the world, it should be with the infinite. In that first quiet moment, when the bridge between the seen and unseen is still intact from sleep, your tags carry extraordinary power. Speak them aloud. See the money as already yours. Call it by name, by amount, by purpose. You are engraving it in the invisible vault, and the law will not forget. And what of those times when you are struck suddenly by need, when an unexpected expense appears, or an opportunity requires quick provision? Do not speak in panic. That is when you must remember this law most. Still yourself. Remember, the unseen is never in emergency. It is always in abundance, and from that stillness tag your money with authority. This is my provision by divine appointment. I call it in now, and it cannot be delayed or denied. The power is not in the desperation. It is in the unshakable certainty that the law is already moving. Let me give you an example. A man I knew once needed a large sum for a business opportunity. He had hours, not weeks. Instead of running from person to person asking for help, he went into a quiet room, stilled his mind, and tagged the exact amount in the unseen. "It is mine by right of divine supply," he said. "It knows where I am. It is already on its way." Within that very afternoon, an old client called unexpectedly with a payment he had long forgotten was owed to him, the exact amount, to the penny. The timing was not coincidence, it was law in motion. Now I will give you this warning, so you will not fall into the trap that catches many. Once you have tagged your money, do not keep scratching at it to see if it is growing. The farmer does not dig up the seed every morning to check. He trusts the soil. The moment you tag your money, release it into the law and go about your work with confidence. Obsessive checking is a form of doubt, and doubt will smudge your mark. Your work is to tag with clarity, believe without shaking, and keep your spirit tuned to receive. For sometimes the money will come through channels you have never considered. If you demand it come only one way, you may miss its arrival. Keep your tag clear, but keep the route open. And if at any time you feel your faith fading, refresh your tag. This is not repeating in desperation. This is strengthening the ink of your spiritual signature. In the same way, a legal signature can be notarized to hold even greater authority. Your tag can be renewed with deliberate attention. Whisper it again, see it again, and know that it is done. The law rewards the one who moves quickly in the spirit. It answers to precision, not to wandering thoughts. The exact moment to tag your money is the moment you hear the inner call of desire, the holy whisper that says, "This belongs to you." Act then, and act fully. Do not delay. Do not ask if it is possible. The possibility was born in the same instant as the desire. Your only work is to claim it in the unseen and stand until it is delivered in the seen. When you tag your money in the unseen, you are not just speaking into empty air. You are writing a legal decree in the court of spirit. And in that court, language matters. The law of the unseen does not respond to vague hopes or emotional outbursts. It responds to clear, precise, faith-filled commands. You must speak as one who has already been granted authority, not as one begging to be heard. The words you use are not a performance, they are a signature. And just as a legal signature must match exactly every time to carry weight, the language of your tag must be consistent. If you call your money one thing today and something else tomorrow, the unseen will see the discrepancy. It will wait for you to decide what you are truly calling in. So here is the first secret. Call your money by its exact nature and amount. Do not simply say, "I want money." That is as ineffective as addressing a letter to someone somewhere. The spiritual postmaster cannot deliver what is undefined. Instead, you might say, "I mark as mine the sum of $50,000 for the purchase of my home, by divine right, in perfect timing and in perfect ways." This is not a request. It is a precise claim, already in the ledger of supply. The second secret is to speak in the present tense, as if the delivery is already in motion. The unseen is timeless. It does not operate in someday. When you speak in the future tense, "I will have" or "I'm going to get," you push your supply away from the present moment. You are forever chasing it into tomorrow. Speak instead as one who is already in possession. "I have received, it is mine now. It is here for me." The third secret is to add the seal of divine right. The phrase "by divine right" is not mere poetry. It is your legal clause in the unseen. It tells the law that you are claiming only what is truly yours, what will harm no one, what belongs to you in the harmony of universal order. When you add this seal, you close the door to wrongful gain or crooked channels. You are telling the law, "Bring this to me in such a way that it blesses all and disturbs none." Now I will tell you a story to show you why language matters. A young woman once came to me saying she had been affirming for more money for months, but nothing had happened. I asked her exactly what she had been saying. She replied, "I keep saying, 'I want more money.'" I told her, "My dear, the law has been answering you all along. Every time you find a penny on the street, every time a small coin slips into your hand, that is more money. You did not specify. You left the law to its smallest interpretation." Once she began to call her money by amount, purpose, and divine right, her manifestations began to match her desire. Your words must also carry the tone of ownership. Imagine you are the rightful heir to an estate, and you have walked into the court to claim what is already in your name. You would not beg. You would stand in confidence, present your papers and say, "This belongs to me." In the same way, When you tag your money, your voice must carry that inner knowing. The fourth secret is emotional alignment. The unseen reads vibration, not just syllables. If your mouth says, "It is mine now," but your heart is trembling with doubt, your tag will be faint. This is why you must take a moment to feel the joy, relief, or gratitude as if it has already happened. Let your body, mind, and spirit align. When they do, your words will carry weight in the invisible. If you are tagging money for a specific purpose, perhaps for a debt to be cleared, or for a business expansion, include the purpose in your decree. This gives your money a destination. Money without a marked destination can wander. Money with a clear spiritual address will travel directly to you. For example, say, "I mark as mine the sum of $10,000 by divine right for the full payment of my business equipment. It comes to me in perfect timing and perfect ways, and I give thanks it is done." Every phrase here has a function. The amount calls the specific package. By divine right seals it lawfully. The purpose directs its delivery. Perfect timing and perfect ways ensures harmony in arrival, and gratitude stamps it with faith. And let me give you this final safeguard. Never tag your money with fear-based language. Do not say, "I need this or else I will lose everything." The unseen does not operate under threat. It operates under law. When you lace your tag with fear, you send mixed signals, half faith, half panic, and the delivery will be delayed until the vibration is pure. Instead, tag it with the tone of expectation. Expectation is faith leaning forward. Expectation is the mother at the train station, knowing her child will step off the next carriage. She does not say, "If he comes," she says, "When he comes." That is the voice of a true tagger in the spirit. I tell you this, when you master the language of your tag, you will feel the shift the very moment you speak it. It will feel like a key turning in a lock you could not see. And once the lock is turned, the delivery is inevitable. When you have tagged your money in the unseen, do not think the work is done merely because the words have been spoken. A gardener does not plant a seed and then leave it unguarded, open to every wandering foot or careless hand. A claim in spirit must be kept safe from interference, because the moment you release a decree into the invisible, other forces, both within and without, will test its strength. The first enemy is your own wandering mind. You may tag your money in the morning, but if by afternoon you are saying, "It's not coming, maybe I asked for too much, maybe I should change it," you have tampered with your own delivery. In the unseen, this is like changing the address on a package after it has already been shipped. The law will pause, waiting for you to decide where it truly belongs. The only safe course is to hold steady. When the thought of doubt comes, and it will, say within yourself, "No, it is tagged. It is mine. The law is delivering it now." The second enemy is the careless conversation of others. Many lose their manifestation because they feel compelled to share it too soon with those who do not understand spiritual law. You speak of your tagged money, and someone laughs, scoffs, or tells you a story of failure. If you are not alert, their words can slip into your subconscious like a weed seed into a fertile field. This is why I often say, do not speak of your good until it is made manifest. Guard your decree like a treasure until it stands in your hand for all to see. And yet, there is a deeper law here. No one can take your good from you unless you give them permission through agreement. Agreement is not always verbal. It can be silent acceptance. If someone says, "That's impossible," and you do not immediately reject it in your mind, you have allowed a crack in your fence. So keep a ready phrase at hand, even if only in your thought, such as, "That may be true for them, but it is not true for me. My supply is secure by divine right." This silent rebuttal keeps your tag protected. Now, let me tell you a truth that will refresh you as you hear it. No outside force has greater authority over your good than you do. I repeat this because many people give away their power without knowing it. The law responds to your dominant decree, not to the doubts of others. Even if 100 voices say you cannot have it, if your voice says you can, and you keep saying so with faith, the 100 will be silenced by the one. The third enemy is impatience. Spirit's timing is perfect, but it is not always your timing. When you plant a seed in the ground, you do not dig it up each morning to check whether it has sprouted. You water it, you tend the soil, and you trust the unseen processes at work beneath the surface. Your tagged money works the same way. If you tug at the roots by worrying, complaining, or trying to force the channel, you interfere with the perfect unfolding. The law is precise. The right amount, the right way, the right time. Hold to that, and your delivery will not only arrive, but will arrive without loss or strain. You must also guard your tag from inner contradiction. If in one breath you affirm, "My wealth is secure," and in the next you say, "I can't afford this," you are sending two opposing orders to the same law. The law cannot deliver both lack and abundance at once, so it will wait, sometimes indefinitely, for you to choose. Choose once, and choose well. And if the words of lack slip out by habit, quickly correct yourself, not in shame but in authority. No, that is not true. I am provided for. My supply is here now. Remember also that the unseen works through channels, people, opportunities, unexpected ideas. Guarding your tag means keeping your spiritual eyes open so you recognize the arrival when it comes. If you expect your money only in one form, you may overlook the very channel Spirit has prepared. You may have tagged a sum for your business, and it arrives not as a check in the mail, but as a new client who pays in full, or as a debt unexpectedly forgiven. Accept the arrival, in whatever form fulfills your decree in divine right order. Now, here is a safeguard I urge you to practice daily. When you rise in the morning, and when you retire at night, reaffirm your tag, not in fear, but in confidence. Let it be the bookends of your day. You may say, "My supply is marked and sealed in the unseen. It is moving toward me now, in perfect timing and perfect ways. Nothing and no one can keep it from me." This daily sealing keeps the vibration pure and the claim active. And do not forget gratitude as your shield. Gratitude says to the law, "I have received even before the evidence is visible." It closes the door to doubt, because the mind cannot be in fear and gratitude at the same time. When you feel gratitude in advance, you match the vibration of the fulfilled decree, and in that match, nothing contrary can enter. So guard your tag as you would guard a royal seal. It is not fragile. The law is too strong for that. But your attention to it keeps it in the front of your consciousness, where no stray weed of fear can take root. And when the day comes, as it surely will, that the thing you tagged in the unseen stands in your visible hand, you will know that your guarding was not in vain. When you have tagged your money in the unseen and guarded it faithfully, you must also understand a subtle truth. You are never to chain the law to one channel. The money you have marked as yours may come through any path the infinite chooses. Your decree determines the destination. Spirit determines the route. Many lose their good because they demand that it must arrive in one particular way. They say it must come through my salary, or it will arrive when this person repays me, or it will be through this investment. And when that channel delays or fails, they believe their good has been denied. But the law of supply is not bound to any one person, job, business, or plan. If one channel closes, the law will simply open another, provided you do not shut the door with your insistence. Think of the postman. You may be waiting for a package, but you do not dictate the exact streets he must take to deliver it. If one road is blocked, he will find another. It would be foolish to stand at only one corner and say, "If he does not come down this street, my package will not arrive." Spirit has countless streets, countless messengers, countless ways to deliver your tagged money. When you release the channel, you free the law to work at top speed, unhindered by your limited vision. This is why I tell you, name your desire. Tag it clearly in the unseen, but let go of the how. The how belongs to God. Your part is to know the what's and the why. The what is your decree, the amount, the form, the purpose. The why is your faith that it is yours by divine right. But the how is the mystery of Spirit's perfect wisdom. You must also remember that a channel is not your source. A channel is only the means the source uses in a particular moment. If you mistake the channel for the source, you begin to cling, and clinging creates fear. For if the channel is removed, you will feel your supply is gone. But when you know your source is God, and God is infinite, you can release any channel without loss, knowing another will appear at once. Releasing the channel does not mean you stop acting in the visible. You may still work, invest, create, or sell, but you do so with the awareness that these are only instruments in Spirit's hands. They are not the origin of your wealth. They are merely expressions of it. This frees you from the desperation that makes so many chase after one opportunity, as if it were the only lifeboat. In truth, the ocean of supply has no limit to its ships. Now here is where many stumble. They confuse releasing the channel with releasing the claim. When a visible path closes, they sigh and say, "It's not meant to be," and drop the decree entirely. But the closing of a channel does not cancel your tag. The law still holds it in the unseen, waiting to send it through another route. If you release the claim, you are like the one who cancels their order before the new delivery truck arrives. Keep the claim alive, even if every door you can see seems shut. Spirit has doors you know nothing about. Let me refresh you with a truth you must carry in your heart. The unseen is never limited to the seen. The channels you know are a handful. The channels Spirit knows are beyond counting. What you see is not all that is, and very often the channel you release is replaced by one far greater, more fitting, more abundant than you imagined. There is also a wisdom in not naming the person who must be involved. If you say this money will come from Mr. Smith, you bind the law to a human will, and human wills can resist. But if you say this money comes through the perfect channel, you leave Spirit free to choose one who is ready, willing, and able to deliver without obstruction. You avoid the delays that come when your good must travel through unwilling hands. Releasing the channel also frees you from disappointment. If you hold too tightly to one way, and it fails, you may lose your faith. But if you hold only to the claim and let the channel be free, you cannot be shaken. You say to yourself, if not this way, then a better way. That thought alone keeps your vibration in alignment with the law. And when the delivery comes, often it will be so unexpected, so perfectly timed, that you will marvel at how Spirit arranged it. You will see that what you thought was a delay was simply a redirection toward something higher. You will realize that the law was not slow, it was precise. So keep your hand open. Hold the claim with a grip of faith, but let the how slip through your fingers like water. Trust that the law knows not only the fastest route but also the one that will bless you most fully. And as you walk in this trust, you will discover a freedom you did not know before, the freedom of being certain in your good without being anxious about the path it will take. When you have tagged your good, when you have released the channel yet held the claim, the final act is to receive it in the Spirit before it is ever placed in your hand. This is the inner acceptance that seals the law. Without it, your decree floats, waiting for a place to land. With it, the law is anchored, and the manifestation is inevitable. Most people wait to feel the joy until they see the money in the bank, the envelope in the mail, the check in their palm, but the law works in reverse. The joy must come first. Spirit is a mirror. It reflects your inner state. If you stand in lack, waiting for evidence, you will keep waiting, for the law can only echo the vibration you send. But if you stand in completion, giving thanks for what you have already received in the unseen, the law will hasten to make the seen match the unseen. Receiving in the Spirit means you take full possession of your desire, in thought, in feeling, in speech. Before it is visible, you rise in the morning and bless the money as though it were already in your account. You speak to it as though it had arrived. You picture yourself living with it, using it for its divine purpose, and you speak with the gratitude of one who already has it. The invisible world hears you, and the visible world must obey. You may say, but how can I feel joy for something I do not yet have? You do have it, in the realm where all creation begins. Every idea, every fortune, every opportunity first exists in the unseen, and the unseen is the womb of reality. When you claim it there, it is as real as a seed in the ground. You may not yet see the plant, but the life is already growing. The wise gardener does not doubt the seed, because it is beneath the soil. He waters it, protects it, and expects it to break through. This is why I tell you, you must not wait to be happy. Happiness is the signal to the law that you have received. If you wait, the law will wait with you. If you rejoice now, the law will deliver now. Do not think of it as pretending. Think of it as aligning. Pretending feels hollow because you are aware it is false. Aligning feels solid because you know it is true in the higher realm. Some will say, I cannot thank for what I do not see. Yet they will thank a friend for a promise they have made. If a trusted friend said, I have bought you a gift, it is on its way, you would thank them at once without having touched it. And if you trust Spirit more than man, you will thank at once for what the law has promised through your decree. There is a subtle danger in waiting for the physical arrival to shift your feeling. For while you wait, you are often sowing doubt. Each day that passes without the visible proof can turn into a whisper that says, perhaps it will not come. And those whispers are weeds in the soil of your manifestation. Receiving in the Spirit uproots those weeds before they grow. When the feeling of I already have it is strong in you, time cannot shake it. It is also important to keep the inner image fresh. If the vision begins to fade, paint it again in your mind with clear strokes. See the exact numbers. Feel the texture of the bills. Hear the sound of the deposit notification. Smell the ink on the check. The more senses you involve, the more solid the reality becomes in the unseen, and the sooner it must cross into the seen. Let me remind you, there is no distance in spirit. What you have claimed exists immediately. Only the physical arrangement of delivery takes time, and even that time is shortened when your acceptance is total. Spirit does not need to be convinced. It is you who must be convinced. This is why I say, act as though you have already received. Spend in thought what you will spend in fact. Give in thought what you will give in fact. Speak as though the money is present, not coming, and do so without strain or forcing. Do it with the ease of one who knows the matter is settled. If doubt tries to enter, replace it at once with a word of power. You might say, "It is mine now by divine right," or "I have already received in the Spirit, and the outer must follow." These are not mere affirmations. They are legal declarations in the court of the unseen, and the law must uphold them. When you receive in the Spirit, you also quiet the restless mind. You stop checking for signs every moment, because you are already satisfied, and satisfaction is a magnet for completion. The restless seeker pushes the good away. The satisfied receiver draws it near. I tell you truly, if you make this your way, you will begin to notice something wonderful. The time between your decree and your manifestation will shorten. You will find that the law moves swiftly for the one who lives as though they already have, and as you practice, you will reach the point where the inner and the outer align so closely that your good appears with almost no gap at all. So in all your workings with the law of spiritual tagging, remember this final truth: the unseen is the real birthplace of your good. When you take it there, when you accept it there, when you rejoice there, the outer world has no choice but to match the inner, and when it does, you will simply nod and smile, for you will have been living with it all along. You have now been shown the whole pathway of this law, from the moment you name your desire with precision, to the sacred act of tagging it in the Spirit as yours, to releasing the channel without releasing the claim, to guarding the soil of your mind from weeds, to speaking only words that affirm your possession, to receiving in the unseen before it touches your hand. These are not scattered teachings. They are one continuous golden thread of divine law. You have learned that the invisible world is the true marketplace, and you are free to step into it at any moment. You have learned that nothing is random. Not your words, not your thoughts, not the images you entertain. You have learned that the law does not choose for you. It simply grows what you plant. And you have learned that the moment you take ownership in spirit, the outer world is set in motion to deliver it. So I say to you now, begin today. Do not wait for the right mood, the right sign, or the right time. The time is now. The sign is your hearing these words. The mood will come as you obey the law. Tag your good in the unseen and call it by name. Hold it with the quiet certainty of one who knows the case is settled. And then, live as though you are already in possession, because in truth you are. Speak it, see it, bless it, thank it, and watch as the outer mirrors the inner with a swiftness that will astonish you. This is not my promise. It is the promise of the law, written into the fabric of the universe, waiting for you to claim it. Now go and put this law into action. Let this not be a teaching you admire, but a truth you live. The world is waiting to match the power of your decree. Call your money by name, and it will find you. And when it does, you will not be surprised. you will simply say, "Of course, I had it all along."